Hey guys, my name is Glennda Baker and I am a real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia, and welcome to the Glennda Show. Today, we are with one of my favorite people ever, Elizabeth Coates, my business partner. My business partner for like 20 years.
Almost.
Oh my stars.
I was thinking about that. It's just about 20 years.
20 years, can you believe that?
No.
What would you do without me?
I don't know.
Elizabeth, what do I always say? I always say,
There's never a problem till there's a problem?
no. Well, that is true. I do say that. I say you've lasted longer than any of my husbands.
That one, yes. You needed to say that again.
You've
And
lasted,
all of the husbands combined.
and all of the husbands combined. Is that crazy?
That is crazy.
What do you think has been the secret to the success of our relationship?
Well, I think that you have a lot of strengths that I need in a partner, and I have strengths that you need in a partner. And I think that's why we've always worked well together and why our team now works together, because there's some different parts now.
Yeah.
So I love our working relationship and the fact that if you need help with something, I know exactly what it is. And if I need help with something, you know exactly what it is.
Like if I need help with spelling and grammar?
Right. And proofreading and all that other stuff that I like doing.
Right.
So yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. I think
Yeah.
that has a lot to do with our success. And 20 years is a long time.
20 years.
Even if it was only half that amount of time, that's still a long time to get to learn how to work with somebody.
Right.
So,
And it really comes kind of natural to us.
yeah, it doesn't really feel like an effort.
Well-
Like it's okay if we have long silences too.
Yeah. What do I companionable? Is that what I said?
Right,
Companionable silences. I learned that in one of my romance novels, remember?
Oh, yes, yes.
So that's another thing that you love about me is that I send you all of the vocabulary words
Right.
that I learn in my romance novels.
And I try to use them. I usually try to think about whatever transaction I'm in the middle of and how can I use this word.
Okay, that's probably
And I wish
good.
if I could think of the last one that you did, but it was in my brain. It was like,
Yeah. And don't
is
you
it?
always wonder, like, in what context is she reading that?
right, yeah, like that could mean lots of different things
I know.
in lots of different contexts.
Yeah.
But I do like how we can be like working away together and we'll stop and talk and okay, what do you think of this? And here's what's going on here. And then we can go quiet and it's comfortable quiet. I don't feel like I have to fill it up with talking.
No, we don't. And sometimes you prefer that I don't fill it up with talking.
Right. But
'Cause
you the
sometimes
same.
Yes,
you the same.
absolutely.
I mean, you come in and you've got like a certain amount of time to get something
Yeah.
done, and we want to chit chat and say hi, and then like get right to work, and
Yeah.
it's totally cool.
And in 20 years, we've only had like one crossword.
Yes, only one.
I know. It was one. I didn't feel appreciated. And I had to point that out. But I certainly couldn't say that about any of my husbands.
No, you could not.
Like I probably have had a crossword with my husband like in the last 3 days.
Right, right.
Certainly more than one in 20 years.
As all of us have in the time that we're living in right now.
I know. Isn't
for sure.
that true?
Gosh.
Isn't that true? So your favorite thing about me is that I'm amazing, right?
Well, of course.
And my favorite thing about you is that you do not take no for an answer. You don't.
Wow. Okay. Is
I-
that good or bad though? That's not always good.
Do you know what? You know what? Actually, I always think about it as a good thing.
Okay.
But now that you say that it's not always good, you're exactly right. Because when you want me to do something and I am not doing it, you do not take no for an answer from me either, which makes me insane.
I know.
But that it just you're so persistent.
Right.
And you go at everything from like so many different angles.
Mm-hmm.
It's like literally like you are not going to take no for an answer. And that is such an asset for your clients.
Well, I was going to say, like normally, especially if I've got a buyer who like really wants a house.
Yeah.
And and I just worked on this today. We're trying to figure out a strategy and we came up with a really good one. And I just got off the phone with the agent and I said, this is what we're going to do. We're not comfortable with this part of your counteroffer, but we're comfortable doing this instead, and here's why we think this is good. And she said, well, I think I really like that strategy.
Yeah.
So that made me, I don't know where it's going to roll. I hope that we can work it out, but.
Well, you're really
good.
an outside of the box thinker. Like if you can't get it, if you can't get it through 1, 2, 3, easy peasy applesauce and baseball, you're really, really going to go at it from a different
There
perspective.
are other ways.
Yeah.
Now, I love the easy peasy 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But if everything was easy peasy 1, 2, 3, I would not have a job, and neither
Right.
would you. Because
Exactly.
why would they need us?
Exactly.
You know, so when we can figure out which part of being on our team and being in the office and talking about things is what really helps me with that, because you and Eveline can give me some ideas, and Tiffany too, when we're all in there together. How about if you do this? How about if you do that? Don't do this, because then they might think blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it just all works out.
Yeah, I think that's so true. I think that, and I know that when you and I, so when we first started working together, it was me and you and Kelly.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
we were so great.
Yes, we were.
Like the little
what
Three
was it?
Musketeers.
Pulgarin, Crowell, Coates. And that our names were always on the board like that. Pulgarin / Crowell / Coates.
Right.
And every listing.
Every listing was us. So Elizabeth, so I think that we would be like doing such a disservice to ourselves if we didn't talk about Avonsong.
Oh, Avonsong. Avonsong. Yes. That great little neighborhood.
Oh my
Still
gosh.
a great neighborhood.
Still a great
It's
neighborhood.
doubled in price since we were there.
Can
More
you-
than doubled in price.
can you believe
I
it?
cannot. I cannot.
So
But we helped get it there.
we did. We
That's
did.
how I feel.
Do you know? So again, when we were selling in that neighborhood, we sold more than any other agent.
Yep.
And we sold more than every other agent combined.
Right. So
We-
why would anybody not want our
Exactly.
name on the sign?
So do you remember we would do open houses Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We would do 3 open houses each day, 12 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, remember? And we would run
to each
run
one.
to each one. Do you remember that?
I'm sure the neighbors thought we were crazy, but then they'd pop in and go, I'm going to sell my house next week. Can you come? Do you have time for a listing appointment afterwards? We were like, sure.
And we were selling those bad boys like
We
nobody's
sold
business.
so many houses. I remember we forgot about closings one week.
I know.
We were like, did we have a closing? Oh no! But there were so many, and they went so smoothly because the place was so great that we just actually didn't even know that we had one. That's how good it was.
It was insane. We sold those.
It was, and then they went kind of quiet and became like a rental type place.
Yeah, but they're back on.
Now they're back on the
and we sold a couple last year, and we picked up buyers from open houses.
closed on another house. Yeah, that's just we need to get back up there.
We did, but you know what? I'm going to tell you.
We need to get back up.
One of my favorite things, and you know what I'm going to say. You know where I'm going with this.
No, what?
When we would stand up in sales meetings.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh! So we would stand up in sales meeting, and we would say we've got a new listing in Avonsong, and one of the agents would bark. Do you remember
Because
that?
I thought it looked like a doghouse.
Because she thought they were dog houses.
Because back in those days, we didn't have like a screen. We had a projector with just a picture, just the front picture of the house.
Yeah.
Which it did kind of look like a doghouse.
Yeah, it did.
And they would sit there and bark. And this was when we were in the hoity-toity, which I loved The Office, but it was the more
We were in the high rent
dollar,
district.
high rent Sandy Springs, and Avonsong was a lower price neighborhood at that
Yeah.
time. And all those high-priced agents with their expensive houses that weren't selling.
Right.
But our houses were selling so fast that we couldn't even keep up with them.
And
we were
remember-
like, we're laughing all the way to the bank.
Remember, and she would come up, I don't know why you want to waste your time selling those $150,000 houses.
Well,
And I
because
was
we
like,
sold 4 one week.
Exactly.
I mean, that's nothing to, How many did you sell?
I know. And think about it. We were agent of the month every single month, and I didn't ever see her name on the full board.
It was never on the
She
board.
wasn't doing anything.
She wasn't.
Oh my gosh, Elizabeth.
Those Avonsong days were good days. That was a good run.
Yeah, it was. But I'd probably say we're doing pretty good.
Yeah. I'm not complaining at all, but I just, those days were good.
They were.
Those beginning
So
days.
so Elizabeth, so obviously we're in real estate.
Right?
So there's some trauma involved always. So if you had to think back on, I don't know, maybe the last couple years, last few years, do you have a transaction that stands out that is just like, how did I get this one to the end zone? How did I get this one to close? Like,
Yeah.
like which one? Like what? Like in your head, you're looking back and you're thinking, like that was a real estate life that I used right there.
Yeah. There've actually been a few of those.
Really?
Yeah, the one where I chased the buyer to the bank to make sure he got the wire done. Remember that one? We had the seller, and my seller was so mad he didn't want anything to do with the buyer. And then the buyer started waffling, wasn't sure he liked the way some things were done at the walkthrough, and then they were talking about going to get their money, and I'm like, I'll take you. Let's go. Because my client was waiting at the closing going, is he coming? Is he coming? Is he coming? And I just said, I'll escort him to the bank and make sure he does what he needs to do. When that was over, I was kind of surprised.
Escorting people to the bank almost makes you sound like a mafia queen.
Psycho, I know. I'm sorry.
A psycho.
But
I wasn't going to use that word.
But my client was so upset, and I just needed him to know that I was there. So
I would probably say
that was more the reason why.
I would probably say all of your clients would share the sentiment that you are not going to take no for an answer.
Maybe.
And I think that that's
Hopefully.
something that they love about you, don't you think?
I hope. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We'll work. There's always an answer.
There's always an
There's
answer.
always a way to work it out.
Always.
There's never a, you know what? We just can't do that. We don't really say that much on our team.
No.
We don't really, we don't really say that. We say we'll figure it out, and we usually do.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that probably part of the chemistry of the team is that when you get to that like end of the rope and you just like you can't hang on anymore, like you know that there are people holding you up. Like you know that you're not ever alone. Like I remember one transaction that we had where we had the buyer and I was absolutely like overwhelmed with them. Like they were arguing all the time. And I was like, Elizabeth, you got to jump in with me.
Them.
And you got to jump in. I can't take another day of showing them houses. Like I just need a break from them. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you jumped in, and thank goodness, because it was just sometimes it's just more than mentally than you can handle.
Yeah, they were so exhausting.
Yeah.
That we had to trade off. Okay, you get them this weekend.
Yeah.
I get them next weekend. You get them, and then we got them the house in the neighborhood that you told them they needed to buy in on the first day.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Of course I do.
You said this is the neighborhood that you guys would really, really like.
Yeah. This is exactly where you need to buy a house.
We went all around the world, and we had to trade off all around the world, and then we came right back to that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And that was a great house.
That was an amazing house.
It was a great house. So it worked out.
Of course, we took bets on how long it would take for them to get divorced.
And they did get divorced.
Yes, they did.
Because I remember us saying, we need to sell them house
Yeah.
before they decide to get divorced.
And they got into that house. They were in there a few months and they got divorced. But what was the good thing about that? We got to sell him a house and then he got transferred and then we sold that house. And it all worked out.
And he referred somebody to us that I sold a house to.
He loved us.
So it worked out.
And she loved us.
Yeah.
We sold a ton of houses in that neighborhood too, though.
It was good for them to split up.
Yeah. It was probably the healthiest thing.
It's okay.
Yeah. They probably should have asked us. You know, sometimes you become like a therapist.
Right.
As a real estate agent.
Right.
They probably should have asked us our opinion on their marriage, and we probably could have saved them a lot of time and trouble.
Maybe.
Yeah. Elizabeth, it has been a good road between us, hasn't it?
We have some memorable things.
So, Elizabeth, I'm going to ask you a question. Obviously, this is very unscripted. Okay? So you have no idea what I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
And I see that you're going to hold on to your cup.
I need
tightly.
a prop. I need a prop.
So let me ask you a question. So if there was one thing that you could change about me, what would it be?
I can't think of anything that I would change about you.
Such bullshit.
Well, that put me on the spot because now I can't come up with anything.
Elizabeth, are you serious? I mean, I know I'm amazing. But
I would rather you not text me at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not a regular thing, but every now and then it does happen. I never turn my phone off. I never put it on Do Not Disturb at night, and I wake up and I think something's wrong. And then when I see your name, I think something must really be wrong. And I have to put on my glasses and I have to look for it. And but that's the only thing really. Just don't text me before 5 a.m.
So, this is what's really funny is I had a conversation with Allison. And Allison loves the fact that I'm always available.
It's not about always being available. I know you're always available, but
if you ever want to text me at 5 o'clock in the morning,
you're okay with that.
I'm okay. You just go right ahead.
I know. Okay. You don't do it it's not even like you've only done it like a couple of times, but that was the only thing I could think of.
Well, yeah.
What can I ask her?
I know. I'm like so perfect.
I don't have anything else I would
What was
change.
it that we were talking about the other day? I said like, what was it? Oh, you should marry me. You should be married.
Oh,
What were we
and
talking about?
I said we should be married because we were both saying the same things about our husbands.
Right.
And I said we should just be married.
That's right.
And
And I
then-
said, who are you kidding? We are married.
I know.
Yeah, my work wife.
My work wife.
Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly. Elizabeth, thank you so much. Do you know what? I want to say thank you for being here, but you're always here.
I'm always here.
Like you're with me all of the
I know,
time.
I'm always here.
So I
Always
feel
here.
like this is probably the first of many times that you will be around the orange table.
Oh, really?
For table talk.
We're gonna keep doing this.
We are going to keep doing this. Aren't you excited?
Stress and pressure.
You are an actress, for God's sake.
I know, but this is different because it's real life.
It's reality. It's
a
real life and real estate.
Scripted reality, unscripted reality.
Unscripted reality.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, guys, as I always say, my name is Glennda Baker. I'm a real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia. So send me a text, tag me in a post, give me a call. That's what I love the most because I would love the opportunity to talk real estate with you today. See ya.